Hi everyone, it's John from One Up and welcome back to another video. Today we're talking the writer's strike and what it could mean for the Wheel of Time. Now, if you're new to the channel and you don't know what we do here, we basically talk about everything related to the Wheel of Time, from the mundane to the fantastical, the rumors to the official, leaks, castings, set pictures and videos, you name it, we covered here in the channel. Now, if you like that sort of thing and you want to keep updated on Wheel of Time show news, make sure you subscribe to the channel. My goal is to hit 20,000 subscribers before Season 2 comes out, and the last couple of weeks are any indication, I think we're going to get there in plenty of time. Now, that being said, I at this point would normally give a spoiler warning for the rest of the video. All my videos contain spoiler warnings for what I talk about, but since we're talking about the show in very general terms, we're talking about the writer's strike and how it may affect production, I'm not really going to spoil anything from the books or the show, so if you haven't seen the show or read any of the Wheel of Time books by Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson, don't worry about it. I'm not going to spoil a single thing from the series in today's video. All right, so this is a Wheel of Time news channel, and we cover everything related to the Wheel of Time. So, of course, we're going to talk about the writer's strike and how it may affect the Wheel of Time. And when I say may, I have to stress this. We have zero actual concrete information, nothing official from Amazon, nothing official from Sony, and how the writer's strike will affect the Wheel of Time specifically, or to what extent. We also have zero leaks to that effect. I've reached out to a bunch of my sources and asked a ton of questions and gotten zero responses on the writer's strike. Now, I think there's a reason for that, because right now, during the strike, most people in the union and people who are sympathizing with the union and their strike will not promote the shows that they're a part of. That's just a fact of the strike. That's what happens. When things go on strike, things tend to slow down. If they're not talking about or promoting their shows, I would say that probably includes leaking information or speaking off the record. It's just me, but that's a guess. Now, Vanity Fair put out a really great article about the writer's strike. Now, this says all of the production is shutting down. That's false. It doesn't list every single production that's shutting down in there, but there's a good number of them there. It's still a great article. But what we're mostly interested in this is other similar Amazon properties, like Lord of the Rings. Rings of Power is a fantasy property at Amazon. It's their flagship property, 100%. It's their baby. They're going to put everything behind it. And I have said here in the channel before that likely the Wheel of Time was the training wheels for some of the bigger things for Lord of the Rings to work out the bugs. I don't know if that's entirely true or not, but it just certainly seemed that way with the way they treated Lord of the Rings versus the way they treated Wheel of Time. Now, what's really interesting about Lord of the Rings is the Rings of Power is proceeding without writers, script editors, or showrunners on set. That's super concerning to me specifically, because I watched the first season. I did the after show afterwards as a non-book reader, let's say. I read Lord of the Rings 20-some years ago. I've seen the movies like most other people, but I'm not a massive fan. I didn't know the lore. I didn't know things behind it. Couldn't even remember half the characters' names. And I thought the show was okay. So as a fantasy fan, somebody who really likes that sort of thing, I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was great. I thought it was slow in parts. I didn't really super enjoy it. If I had a choice between Rings of Power and something else was on, I would watch something else first and then maybe get to the Rings of Power. I did complete the series, but it was not something I would wait for the minute to release and sit down with my family and watch it right away. I think a lot of other people are like that, and that's going to come out in my episode count and completion rate video that's coming out soon. So watch that in the next couple of days, because that's going to be a doozy when it comes to the Wheel of Time, what we're going to see in the next few years. But the showrunners aren't going to be there either, so there's no overall direction on set. Now, I'm going to give them a little bit of a pass here on the idea that Season 2 is almost done. The Rings of Power is almost fully complete filming Season 2. So what could go wrong, right? I mean, they're almost done Season 2. They're in the home stretch. They have all their ducks in a row. Everything is done. The scripts have been written and rewritten and finished up and polished, and everything is perfect. So they don't need the script editors. They don't need the writers. They don't need the showrunners. They can just finish this, right? Well, take a look at the Wheel of Time Season 1. After the 6th episode, you're in the home stretch. Episode 7 or 8 are the only two that are left. Everything's working like clockwork, and then multiple things happen all at once. The main cast member leave, Barney Harris, putting a huge dent in how they had things planned out for the rest of the season. Everything had to be rewritten and rewritten again in a hurry. Then you lost locations. You lost the ability to have certain people on set due to COVID shutdowns. It was a mess. It was a nightmare. And without the writers and the creative team and the script editors and the showrunner on set, I think what we would have gotten would have been a disaster. Or maybe they wouldn't have finished it all. So there's that. Saying that Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power has it in hand, don't worry about it. Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. Don't worry about it until it's completely in the can, done, edited, and polished, and ready for release. So there's that. Now, On the flip side of that, Stranger Things is in its final season. Now, Stranger Things is a wildly popular show on Netflix. I would dare say it's their flagship property as well, and it is popular by, I would say, multiple factors than any other show I can think of on any other streaming platform. It's huge and has been huge for years. And because of the writer's strike, they're shutting down completely. They're just done for now until it's all over and with. I think that's a very smart move. Not only is the cast, the crew, the production team, and certain other people standing in solidarity with the writers on strike, but they're also removing any problems they can have out of the equation so they can come back and have a smooth transition to finish out the final season so they don't put out an inferior product. It's just me. So, why are the writers on strike? Well, essentially it all boils down to fair compensation. Now, there's a GQ article here that details it way better than I could in any way, shape, or form. So I've left a link to it down below in the description box if you folks are interested in that sort of thing and you want to read about why the strike is going on and what's happening. But it all goes down to the formula in which the writers are paid. It's completely different with streaming services than it was with actual serialized TV back in the day. And it's less. They get paid much less this way. And it's not fair compensation, and they are basically fighting for fair compensation. Now, in addition to all this, you have a lot of actors and actresses and other cast, crew, people behind the scenes that are all supporting the strike, and they're not promoting their shows in any way, shape, or form. You also see complete work stoppages by a lot of these people in the form of supporting the strikes. So what does that mean for the Wheel of Time? Well, like I said earlier, we really don't know 100%. We have no idea, no official stuff from Amazon telling us exactly what's happening with the writer's strike. But some of Rafe Judkins' actions over the last week do give us some hints. So we had something called Wheel of Time Wednesday a long time ago before the first season released. It was where the cast, the crew, the production team, Amazon or Sony would get together and they would release something Wheel of Time related on a Wednesday. Started out as once monthly and then became weekly for quite some time. And it ranged from unpolished behind-the-scene footage to pictures from the cast, the crew, to really polished marketing stuff from Amazon and Sony, Q&As with the showrunner and the book expert, different things like that. It was really, really great. It was a whole lot of fun. The fandom got really engaged, and it was a unique marketing tool to the big fans that would really put a push on and perhaps market on their own for the show. And it worked really well. That kind of went away. It went away long before the first season came out, and they kind of dropped the ball on marketing. And then we were hoping it would come back for season 2, and so far it hasn't until a couple of weeks ago. Now, Rafe Judkins put out a tweet a few weeks ago that basically said, it's time to bring back Wheel of Time Wednesdays. Nothing official, just stuff he has on his phone that he can release to us, that he knows he can release to us, and to sort of, whip the fandom back into a frenzy again in anticipation of season 2. And we're all pretty excited about it. So the first week, he put out a video of a bunch of headshots of the actors, and let's face it, the fandom kind of went nuts on Twitter. Watt Series in particular was really good at taking out partial headshots and showing the full thing afterwards. It was a whole lot of fun. Great time to be on Twitter for that. If you're not on Twitter, I showcase a lot of that here on the channel too, so you don't miss everything. And then 2 weeks ago, they did a release of Swan's tattoos. Now, if you don't know, Swan has a whole bunch of tattoos all over in the first season, and they're all tier, related tattoos about her life, tells a life story. Really, really, really cool. Released pictures of those, talked about them a bit. Really neat. Last Wednesday, we were wondering if we would get anything at all from Wheel of Time Wednesday, mainly because the writer's strike had started. And like I said earlier, one of the things is they're not going to promote the shows they're on. Now, Rafe did come out and say that, and then he started talking about one of the writers. He said rather than promote the show or things that are going on, he's going to talk about one of their absolutely amazing writers. That was Amanda Kate Schumann. Now, she is the writer that wrote Shadows Waiting in the first season, and she wrote a whole bunch of other stuff too. So she wrote a whole bunch of episodes of The Blacklist, an absolutely fantastic show. Really love The Blacklist. Chuck, among other things. And you kind of a featurette on her. So I'm wondering if that every week we'll see something about the writers during the writer's strike, because that's right in line with the strike, and it's not promoting the show, not really, but it's also keeping everything visible and cool for the Wheel of Time. So it keeps it fresh in our minds. So in my mind, if he is not doing the Wheel of Time Wednesday stuff, if he's promoting the writers instead, to me that shows that he's supporting the strike and supporting the writers just in general. The likelihood of him being at work doing his showrunner duties is probably less than 50% in my mind, because he's doing those things. Now, again, we have no information. We don't know if he's on set or not. We don't know if he's doing showrunner things. We have no leaks. We have no even rumors of it. Trust me, I've tried to find out. If you know anything, send me an email. Let me know. But he is definitely supporting the writers in this, from what he is saying on social media. If you don't know, I've left a link to his Twitter down below in the description box. If you want to follow Rafe Judkins on Twitter, where he does talk about that wonderfully fantastic writer, all the things she's done. And you can go back and see the other Walt Wednesdays as well. See the difference between the two of them. One's promoting the show, one's promoting the people that are on strike right now. I think he stands with the writers. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you think is going to happen with the writer's strike? Do you think Rafe is on set? Do you think they've shut down? Do you think they're still filming? We really don't know just yet. Now, I promised you the first video to speculate what this is going to do to the rest of the seasons of Wheel of Time. Now, season 2, it may not hurt it too badly. We're in post-production at this point and likely looking at a fall or Q3 release for those of you not in North America. If you believe Harriet in her interview with Brandon Sanderson, there's been a bunch of other great articles out there that all have mentioned pretty much the same thing. We're probably getting it at the end of the year, and my guess is the same time slot we got it in the first season, which is November. Just me, though. It's just me thinking that. So with that being said, season 2 likely not affected too much. Season 3 is filming right now. Now, I don't know if the production is completely shut down or if they're still filming without the creatives on set, the showrunner. No idea. But I think they're so early in the filming process, I think ideally they would probably just shut down. I think that would be a better idea than trying to limp along and film a product that may not be up to par because they don't have the script editors, they don't have the writers, they don't have the showrunner, they don't have all of these other elements that they need to properly make a show. There's a reason they're there, and there's a reason they're available to the production team and to Amazon and Sony during filming. They should be there. So I think it definitely will affect season 3 in one of two ways. Either they're shut down completely or it'll slow them crawl. It could cause a ton of problems. Could cause the season 3 to put out an inferior product. Who knows? But I think it's definitely going to affect it. Now, season 4, whereas they're filming season 3 right now, this is where they would actively block out season 4. They would talk about what's going on with season 4. They would do some writing for that. They would get the outlines for the scripts. They would start writing the scripts, things of that nature. So they can start the rewrite process and get everything going. That's definitely not happening right now, which means we may see a delay for season 4, depending how long the strike is and what goes on. Either way, the strike is affecting the show in some capacity, whether it be for season 2, season 3, or season 4. Something is going to happen because of the strike. So, there's that. All right. Thank you very much for sticking with us here to the very end. And here's to many more.